Tuesday, 4 February of 2014. I'd like to, it is 7:04. I'd like to call the regular Board of Trustees meeting to order, and it has been duly noted and posted, and I'll read the invocation. Lord, you are the rock and strength of this nation. You are the only one who can deliver us from our enemies. We trust in you and pray humbly for your guidance and direction for this great nation. Give us wisdom to make the right choices. Help us to live in such a way that your name will be honored in all things. May you forever be praised. Melissa, would you read, or roll call, please?
Trustee Head.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
O'Brien, Berglund.
Here.
Bodie. Absent. Stanford. Absent. President Wecken.
Here.
Trustee Zappa.
Here.
Okay. Second item on the agenda, review and approve minutes, regular board meeting from 7 January 2014.
Approval.
Second.
Mark, thank you, Colleen. Any further discussion or changes? All in favor of the minutes from the January 7th meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Comments from the floor, and we don't have any of the residents here, so we must be adequately addressing the issues. Item number 4 would be consider adoption ordinance of ordinance 01/2014, amending chapter 38, section 38.8 fire pits regarding the issuance of a burning ban by the fire chief.
I'll move to approve ordinance number 01-2014, amending chapter 38 fire prevention and protection, section 38-8 fire pits of the Village of Hudson Municipal Code.
Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Ted. Discussion. The added, this is an existing ordinance. We have added item 10, that the fire chief may issue a burning ban at any time due to weather conditions or other hazardous conditions that may exist. No burning, including within a fire pit, may take place during a burning ban. It is the responsibility of anyone intending to have a fire to verify if there is a burning ban in effect. Any further discussion? Hearing none, and it's an ordinance change, so Ted?
Yes.
Yes? Mark?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item, ordinance 02/2014, amending chapter 58, section 58.2, Police Department regarding the procedures for suspension, demotion, or removal of the fire chief and officers by the Police Commission. I have a motion.
Police chief.
Move to approve ordinance 02-2014, amending chapter 58, section 58-2, Police Department regarding the procedure for suspension, demotion, or removal of the chief and officers by the Police Commission.
Second.
Okay. Further discussion? Okay, this, the part that was, just for the folks, the tenure of police officers, the part that was stricken from the ordinance, the chief and other members of the police department shall hold office at the pleasure of the board. After discussion with council and then looking at the statutes, they added wording that the, Terry said it's not an at-large or?
At will, police chiefs and police officers are not at-will employees under state statute. They are, they're not, they don't serve at the pleasure of the board, so that part of our ordinance is illegal since the statute changed, which was quite a few years ago, so I guess our ordinance just hasn't been updated for a while. There is a special procedure that if you're going to discipline and terminate for disciplinary reasons a police officer, you have to go through that special procedure. They're not employees at will. If you do it for budget reasons and other things like that, that's different. But if it's for disciplinary reasons, then there's a special procedure for police officers.
Thank you, Terry, and I'd like to thank the chief for bringing this to the attention and finding that we were not in compliance with the state statute. Okay, and any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, George?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Carries. And item number 6. Consider adoption of ordinance 03/2014, amending chapter 74, section 74-1, park and beach hours as it relates to the ferry landing park hours of operation and public access to the park road.
Go for 3. I'll move to adopt ordinance 03-2014, amending chapter 74, section 74-1, park and beach hours as it relates to ferry landing park hours of operation and public access to the park road.
Thank you, Colleen. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, George. Discussion.
So I have a question, Mr. President. Is this up to the gate? This description is Part D, where it says 538 feet north of a center line of Summer Street. Is that up to that gate? Is
That's
that
pretty
what
much that
is?
gate. yeah.
Okay. So we're not proposing, just so we're clear, we're not proposing that that road be shut down and gated.
Correct.
Right, we're just saying that after hours, the park is off limit. Loitering on that street is not permitted, but access to the river back and forth is permitted.
Yeah, vehicular traffic basically is dropping off.
My
and
other
picking up
question would
boats or-
be, we have here, no person shall be in or on any public park or beach. Do we have the authority to regulate the beach area?
Yes. But let's separate these two provisions out that you're talking about. Provision A is what's there now. That's what's already in the ordinance.
Right.
A, B, and C are the existing ordinance. D is the additional ordinance. And that's what was suggested. Colleen can, fill us in as the chair of the park board, but that was what was recommended to this board by the park board, was to keep traffic open on the road,
Yep.
but to consider the road part of the park and enforce the regular regulations of the park on the road, with the exception of allowing through traffic, ordinary through traffic. So that was the recommendation from the park board. As far as the beach area, yeah, I mean, there is some state law that it basically says kind of if you're keeping your feet wet, you're on state property and things like that. But yeah, we can certainly regulate our beaches.
Okay.
Will there be any posting so that someone would know that they can walk down the street as opposed to walking along the edge, which is in the park? If this seems like I'm splitting hairs, yes, it is, because of what generated this very situation.
Right.
So
That's
can
why I
we have
asked.
some signage here that is going to inform the public where they can and cannot walk?
I don't know if I misheard you. You're saying you can walk down the thoroughfare part of this in disregard of the hours?
walk on
Yeah.
on the road,
On
if
the-
you were walking down to go ice fishing or something
Yeah.
like that. If you're treating it like it's a regular village road for
Access?
through traffic,
Okay.
There's nothing,
that was the goal that the
Yeah.
park committee recommended.
but you can walk down that road
Yeah.
at any time.
Yeah.
And that's what my question is how do we define the road? As opposed to where does the street
Well-
end and the park begin?
Yeah.
Let me bring up, I'll take this to an extreme, maybe absurd example is what distinguishes walking up and down the road constantly from being in the park.
I think the concept of loitering is what it would really be.
Anything beyond typical.
It would be this, don't think of it as that road, think of it as any road in the village, you know, if loitering's prohibited on a village road, you know, you can't just go hang out in the village road and drink beer. You can't do it
You could
out
stroll
here,
up and down the road.
you can't do it over there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, since there's no sidewalk there, you have to walk in the road.
yeah.
I get you can't walk up and down 35. I'm just, like I said, it's maybe an absurd extreme example.
Yeah.
Grab a six-pack, start at the top of the hill, walk down, walk back.
If you're walking down any village street and you're carrying a six-pack, chief, aren't we in violation doing that?
I was
Different
referring-
ordinance.
I was-
If
I
it's
was-
open. If
I
you
was-
have an open
I was
container.
referring to
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper.
I think you could do that with a
Yeah, you
six-pack of
guys all
Dr.
jumped the
Pepper.
gun on that.
No,
And that's a sad commentary on where you guys are at, I'll tell you that. But nonetheless, is walking up and down the road being in the park?
No, and to me, the answer is no, but I don't know how wide the road is, where the road
Okay,
begins.
wherever the road is, George, using it to go up and down, does that constitute using the park? And you can't, and you should, are you gonna be ticketed for that?
right.
Colleen might be able to
Yeah, basically,
expound on that, but I don't know that the park board really talked about it from that
we didn't,
standpoint.
we didn't. It was more just for the vehicle traffic that was, what we talked, we didn't really talk about people walking up and down the road at 2 in the morning or something. It was more-
Right, but this came about because a citizen of North Hudson was ticketed, right, at the park, and subsequently that charge was dropped by the municipal judge. So this is, I think, I mean, again, not to be overly burdensome on this, but it's important because it came up as a matter of law.
Well, part of the thing there too was the police officer could have given him a ticket, given them tickets for open alcohol containers. I think they had open alcohol containers, but chose to,
Yeah.
in discretion, give him a lesser ticket. I guess next time they'll get a ticket for alcohol and they'll have a different fight on their hands.
So are we adequately defining, right, to George's and I think to Mark's point, if you're walking down this road and somebody from NHPD stops, will they be able to issue a citation or are they now no longer in violation? Whereas prior, I think they were in violation.
I think the way this is written, if they're walking down that road and they're just kind of using it as a through traffic route, that they would not be in violation of this ordinance as this is written.
So once the ice disappears, it's not a through route.
Well, you can go
it is
launch a
down
boat.
to the river,
Yeah.
right?
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
no,
It's
I mean-
true
I would
to,
say
But
you
if we're
could
gonna
still-
do this, if we're writing it,
You could still go and get your boat
Yeah,
or whatever, walk up to get your car, come back down, get your boat,
Yeah,
that
at
kind of
midnight.
stuff. I guess.
absolutely.
Okay.
And that was, you know what, those are policy questions, not legal questions.
no, I
So
got it, I'm just saying,
If
since
you
it
don't
was
want
all
that,
brought up,
if you don't want that,
Then you
we
need
can
to
write it
post
to
it.
stop that.
frankly, I didn't care one smidgen before it all came up,
Yeah.
so.
The park board did talk about that though, about going down there and getting boats and walking down, going back up, getting your car and things like that.
Right.
So they did talk about that.
Think of it as a cul-de-sac.
I don't, yeah, man, like I said, I just, if we
I-
have
I-
a reoccurrence of this,
Oh.
if we're not rewriting this thing again.
Yeah.
And then back to George's point about signage, I think, Chief, you did talk to, Mark Ekblad about that a little bit, right, or somebody? Yeah.
Microphone, as instructed. I did. Obviously, without it being passed, I didn't move forward any further than that, but I did talk to Mark Ekblad about the fact that should this pass, we will have to look at some sort of signage, basically at whatever point, mostly it's going to be for the beach area, so that those people, and right now there's kind of a natural barrier of a bunch of rocks, but we would have to sign it so that people realize this is beach, this is not beach, so that we have, a fairly distinct. I'm not overly concerned. As a matter of fact, Terry had forwarded this ordinance to me. I don't have any heartburn over the roadway. I mean, it really, One of the things that the judge brought up is, you know, the idea of kind of taking a look at, are we enforcing on one person but not on the other, depending on their purpose there, and our current ordinance doesn't differentiate. Where this at least will give us some differentiation to say, okay, if a person's pulling a vehicle through there, like now, when everyone at, you know, that's going across the river bridge, technically after closing hours, from the gate until they get to the river, they're in violation of the ordinance of the closing hours. And I'd rather not have to worry about those types of issues when they're legitimately just passing through. Those people that do come in off the water on July 4th after being down either up in Stillwater or down by Hudson, they come in at 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock and they pick up their boat from the landing. Those people aren't causing the problem. The problems are the people that are loitering. The problems that are people that are going down there and we find them naked on the beach at dark 30. Those are the people that we're trying to prevent those types of activities from occurring and causing some disturbances or what have you. So this particular change, I think, is appropriate. I did read in it that it did talk about pedestrians, but I think if we see a problem, Mark, where we've got people that are exercising at 3 o'clock in the morning, walking up and down the road, you know, we can obviously try to make some determinations on what the purpose is, but I don't see it as being a major issue myself from past experiences.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Ted.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 3-214 passes. New business from the board or staff is item number 7. Usually I don't have a lot to say at this, but the issue of snow has caused some complaints, caused some angst with our village residents, and then of course we have mailbox issues, so I'll try to address those. We've had some, we got a lot of snow on the ground, and unfortunately, it's been coming down at about 2 inches per event. And the village policy was changed several years ago that if it's an after hours, which is our public works group is out from 7:30 to 4:30. If it would be after those hours, the police would call if we have 3 inches of snow and say, all right, we've got 3 inches of snow. It's time to call out the trucks. We could be having traffic issues. Get on it before morning rush hour and or whatever. And people will say, well, Hudson's out and we're not. Well, Hudson is on a 2-inch call out, so their people would come out much quicker, at 2 inches rather than 3 inches, depending. We had one night where it started about 4:30 and it snowed fast. And so it caused some trouble there. And we've had issues, and we also have Bjornstad's, who we've had for snow plowing for 15 years, is no longer working with us, and so we've had with our new alliance with Zappa's, and they have other jobs and stuff like that. So it was a timing issue, and we're still working out the route. Everybody's getting used to their routes they take, and we've got a lot of cul-de-sacs. Takes a lot of time and stuff like that. But we try to keep the main arteries open, and we're really working. We're addressing the concerns and trying to make sure that we have safe streets so people can get to and from work and get home. So that's one of the issues. The next one is some folks may have got the letters in their mailboxes from the postmaster that if you do not clean out in front of your mailboxes, they will not deliver your mail. And that is the residents' responsibility, not the village of North Hudson's. We try to keep the streets plowed to the edges, but we're not having a lot of melting going on, so we've got, when it used to be when they walked the routes and everybody had to have their sidewalks shoveled and stuff, it is a responsibility of the residents to keep your mailboxes open so that they can get their little Jeeps up next to them. Next item would be fire hydrants. I know the Public Works crew just went through, because of the amount of snow, went through with the Bobcats and shovels and cleaned out a lot of the fire hydrants, because we had some pretty enormous piles around them. That is also something that the residents should, we would hope, would help take care of, because if the fire department has to shovel out, if your house is on fire and you are shoveling out to get to get their hoses hooked up, I mean, that's time that they could be fighting the fire rather than in helping to save your residents. So please help, if we can stay on top of that, share with your neighbors, and we can get those hydrants cleaned out. It'd be great. And finally, apparently, we because of the big piles, we have people that are shoveling the snow back into the streets. Well, if they throw the snow back into the streets, the guys are going to come back through and plow it back into your driveways. So please try to refrain from throwing it into the streets. I know the snow blowers and stuff, sometimes when you're trying to turn and change the chutes, I don't have real good control of mine right now, but I try to go back over the street then and throw it back onto the sides. But those are some stuff, if you can help us with trying to keep the streets clear and safe, it would be greatly appreciated. And that's all I have. Gloria?
No comments.
No comments. Melissa?
Just to let everybody know, there will not be a spring primary in February for the Village of North Hudson. The next scheduled election will be the spring election on April 1st.
Thank you very much. Okay, item number 8, Plan Commission. I don't believe they met. Item number 9, Personnel and Finance Committee. Amendment 2014 annual budget for purchase of police squad accessories for new public works truck approval requested.
Dan, can I recommend to amend the 2014 annual budget by using proceeds from the Public Works and Public Safety Vehicle Assigned Fund accounts and increasing the use of available funds revenue account by $39,228, and additionally increasing the Public Works Vehicles Expense account by $4,228, and the Public Safety Vehicles Expense account by $35,000.
Just to clarify, Mark, that's a motion, right? In the
I'd
form-
like to move,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ted. Discussion. This is an accounting issue that we're not buying another squad, another truck, as we approved this last year in 2013's budget. So we didn't get the purchases made in 2013, so we have to just transfer the funds. Am I stating that correctly, Gloria?
Almost.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm trying. That's an accounting or an administrator. Would you?
Basically, it was in the 2013 budget, but that budget then goes away, and the 2014 did not have it in there, even though the monies were set aside in a reserve account. So in order to spend anything, we need to have it in the budget, and that just is a policy or a statutorily implemented that you have to.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, that's a spending issue, George.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Carries. Item B is pay our bills.
Dan, can I move to approve the December non-recurring claims of $24,821.93 and the January 2014 non-recurring claims of $32,085.09 for claims totaling $56,907.02.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colleen. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Let's see, Ted, I think it's your turn.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. And see, item C, donation of copier, approval requested.
Stan, can I move to approve the donation of our old copier to the senior center?
Thank you, Mark.
Second.
Thank you, Colleen. Any further discussion? This, we got a new copier. The seniors live on a very, the senior center is a very limited budget. And, you know, if it helped to get their information out and to have that copier with them, I think is, you know, hopefully will help our
Well,
seniors
that'll
out.
help them next time they have a luau, they can advertise.
There you go. And then hopefully it'll be luau season soon. Okay, this is just a donation, so all in favor, or is it, I think
fine.
we can go all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Carries. Let's see, Public Works, Daryl is not here. Who's else is on that? Paul is not here. George, you got anything with
I don't have anything more than what you see in front of you in the Public Works section, unless, Kevin, did you want to say anything about any shop yard issue? 'Cause that's all that we really talked about, that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, well, other issues? More to come up in March.
Yes.
All right, sounds great. Thank you. Number 11, Mark, Public Safety.
Just what's in the minutes, no requests from the board.
Okay, thank you. Ted, Public Welfare.
Public welfare did meet, and we would like to move to approve the 2014 Animal Humane Society and Village of North Hudson, Wisconsin Letter of Understanding for impounding services found in your board book.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
So I would add, Stan, that there's been an increase of fees of $5 for felines and dogs, and $1 for other domesticated animals. And that was the extent of the change.
So everybody can save money by keeping their pets at home.
That is correct.
And that doesn't add anything to our animal warden or our other folks. Thank you. So, let's see, is that one, roll call that one, or do we
Yep, it's a contract.
contract? Okay, George?
Yes.
Yes.
Colleen? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Contract carries. Okay, Park Board, Colleen.
Nothing to bring forward today, but the park board is working on updating the recreation park plan for 2014 to 2019, and hope to have that ready for the board's review in March. We've also been discussing with the St. Croix Bike and Pedestrian Coalition. That group continues to meet to try to figure out a long-range plan for bikes and pedestrians. And then they are, with the county, the county's applying for a grant to help plan the route, and that if it gets accepted for the next level of the application process, then they'd like the village to just sign a letter of, yes, we'd like to have the grant. It's all federal money for the grant, so it doesn't cost us anything for this planning process. So if they get approval to go to the next level, then we'll have that letter probably for the March meeting.
Okay.
Good.
And according to my agenda, there's only one thing left.
Respectfully, I'd like to move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mark. This meeting of the village board would be adjourned at 7:34. Thank you, everyone.
And with a late start